Hi, Tiffany.
Hello, I was talking and I
Oh,
didn't.
I'm sorry.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your speaker notes though.
Oh, you can? Oh,
Yeah, I can
excellent.
see
Let me
your whole control
stop
panel
this.
thing.
Okay, hold on a second. Thank you for that, Flora.
Yeah.
All right, let me share. I thought I shared my screen too, but I guess my laptop is screen too. All right. Ready. So can you see um, my screen?
Yes.
You see the presentation and the presentation only?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready to go and I can hit start on the stream.
I'm ready to go.
All right, cool. Oh, well, we were already going, so never mind.
Yeah. Okay. So it's okay. All right. So we can get the ball rolling if you're ready to record. We can get that rolling. All right. So my name is Tiffany Haynes, and I am the Director of Homebuyer and Community Engagement with the Maggie Walker Community Land Trust. And I want to create space to introduce my colleague on the line, as well as if we have any partners on the line. I see we have Tanya on the line and Viva. So if you guys could go ahead and introduce yourselves in YouTube floor.
So my name is Flora Valdez-Pena. I am the communications manager for Maggie Walker. So I handle all of our social media and our emails, as well as managing events and the Zoom account. So I am here to help folks out with the Zoom setup and, you know, monitor the chat and things. So yeah, nice to meet you all.
Hi, this is Tanya from Department of Commerce Federal Credit Union. I'm one of the lenders that works with the Maggie Walker Community Land Trust. I've been with the CLT since pretty much its inception, and I'm excited to be with you guys tonight and answer any questions you have.
Okay, it might help if I take myself off of mute. Hi, everybody. This is Viva Moore with Fulton Mortgage. I'm the mortgage loan officer contact for Fulton, and I've also been with Maggie Walker Community Land Trust, working with the land trust for quite some time now. But there's a lot of good information shared on this call, and I'm excited to be here with you and look forward to speaking with you at some point.
Hi, this is Cynthia Taylor, Virginia Credit Union, one of the lenders for the Maggie Walker Community Land Trust loans, and I'm happy to be here tonight and answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Cynthia. I'm so sorry. I didn't see you listed on the call. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Okay, so we can go ahead and get started. So, these are two resources available to you regardless of whether or not you work with Maggie Walker Community Land Trust. One is the Commonwealth Catholic Charities. They offer a free one-on-one credit counseling service. And then the other is the Housing Resource Line that can connect you with a number of resources related to housing, including those that are not related to home ownership. So today we are going to touch on quite a few things. We're going to go over a little bit more about what a CLT is. We're going to go into some program details like the land lease, which really guides the way that our program operates. And then we're going to talk about how to apply. Thank you. So Flora is going to launch a poll so that we can get a sense of who's in the space.
Okay, we got our poll results.
All right. So we have almost 70% of the attendees tonight who are interested in purchasing a home. We have a realtor on the line. And then we have some people who are just interested in our program. And then quite a few of you all who are involved in affordable housing. And then the other, I don't know if anyone wants to share who the other is, but if not, we can keep moving forward.
Oh, sorry. Hi. Yes, I'm the other. I totally didn't. I forgot you could unmute yourself. Is that a stupid thing to do? Sorry. Hi. My name is Jacob Jennings, and I'm the founder of the Sherlock's Homes Foundation and the program director for Lambda Hope. We help LGBTQ homeless individuals, specifically youth, get off the streets and on their feet. And we just opened a home in Richmond. I have been learning a lot about land trusts and CLTs for the past year and a half, and I'm just so excited to actually have found you guys are in the Richmond area, and we're just really excited about seeing how we can work together to help the less fortunate actually get homes and change the cycle of poverty for generations to come. So excited to be here. Thank you. That was the other. So there you go.
Thank you, Jacob. It's so nice to see you. And we could also set up a follow-up, a meeting. So outside of this, so that we can have more conversation around what you're interested in doing.
Fantastic. I would love that. Thank you.
So I'm going to, Flora, can you drop my email in the chat for Jacob so that Jacob can send an email? And also Julia's email as well, because I have a feeling that Julia might be a helpful person.
I get that a lot.
All right. All righty. So now, thank you so much, Jacob. I love your energy. You brought it tonight.
Thank you. Life is too short to be boring.
Right. Now that we're talking about excitement. Okay. Why am I echoing?
Sorry, there was someone's microphone unmuted. Just really quickly, if everyone could just keep their microphones muted and video turned off when they're not talking, that would be great. Thank you all for your help.
Thank you. Thanks, Flora. Okay, so now that we're talking about excitement, what actually excites you about homeownership? You can unmute yourselves or you can drop it in the chat, whichever one floats your boat. I'm gonna give a minute for you guys to answer.
Hi, this is Shakidria, and I'm one of the ones that's interested in home ownership. And my excitement or my reason is basically because the rental market is outrageous. And I feel like if I can pay $1,300 in rent, I definitely should be able to own my own home. That's all.
A very valid reason. A very valid reason. Thanks for sharing. Shakidra?
Yes.
Hi. So you told someone to go? I'm sorry.
No. I was just restating Shakidra's name.
Well, I second what she said, because renting is awful and you're not getting anything in return. And most times the landlords and so forth are treating you like you're nothing. They just want that dollar. So, and then you can't modify or get any return back on the money you're investing. So I agree with what she said.
Thank you for sharing. You didn't pop up, so I don't remember your name. I'm so sorry. Right,
It's Teresa.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for sharing, Teresa. Anybody else want to share? Do we have any chat comments?
I would like to share. Hi, my name's Michonne. Just to piggyback off of what the other two lovely ladies said, I've been renting for years and I have two young children, and I feel as though if I can pay an upwards of like $1,900 a month in rent for something that's half the size of a property, then I should be, like they said, I should be able to own a home. Also, with having two children, you know, that having a home helps create generational wealth. So that's another big reason as to why I would like to become a homeowner.
Thank you for sharing that, Michonne. Did we have any chat comments, Flora?
Yeah. Folks are saying, switching from renting, you got to move too often. I get that completely. I haven't lived in the same place for more than a year and a half since I was like 18. It's crazy. The desire to be able to leave something with value to the ones that you leave behind. Yeah. Generational wealth and owning your own home are all things people said in the chat.
Thank you, Flora. And thanks everyone who contributed. And thanks for those who just listened.
There's
all right.
We have one more board member with us. I'm sorry, he can't speak at the moment unless he starts to speak up. It is Rob Haggerty who's here. He's also a landlord in the Richmond area that provides low-income housing and helps those people buy properties. That's him. I'll let him talk.
Hey, Jacob. Thanks for letting me chime in. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Rob.
Jacob, I'm excited. Jacob kind of threw this meeting on me last minute, so I'm driving home and don't have my video on. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to hear what this presentation has. I don't know what else you wanted me to add, Jacob. But I am passionate about affordable housing for folks and do try and keep my rents low and be a good landlord in the area. So I don't know what else I can add to that.
Well, we're going to add that. Mute yourself, boy. Thank you. We've been working with Virginia Commonwealth University to try to find affordable housing. They have a program right now that they've created to help homeless LGBTQ youth and young parents get on their feet. So we're looking for houses to help VCU house these people and come up with a rent-to-own program. So really excited about learning about the land bank side of this, seeing how we can partner. We've got other investors we work with who are builders and landlords and just want to bring everything together. And we're just trying our best to make this Commonwealth a little better than it was yesterday. So there.
Y'all are literally.
Oh, I did want to add it. If folks are interested in rent-to-own homes, I do a lot of rent-to-own stuff for people too as well. So if you are struggling to get out of just renting and want to own, find a way to connect with myself or Jacob outside the meeting or attach our emails. I'd love to help people become homeowners. So.
And Rob, towards the end of our call, I'm going to actually share a little bit about our rent-to-own program.
Cool.
with you all as well, so that you can kind of see what we're doing. Maybe there's an opportunity to talk about that a little later as well. So I'm going to go to the next question. I appreciate you guys sharing and sharing your energy with us tonight. And I'm going to move to the next question. All right. So what about homeownership makes you nervous or afraid? What makes you apprehensive about stepping into that process?
I think for me, it's always been the idea that maintenance is available should something go wrong. And the fact that, my rent basically should pay for repairs to be made, quickly and sufficiently. I think that has always been my hang up. Oh yeah, someone said down payment. Definitely that too. I'm sorry, she keeps again.
And there are down payment assistance programs that you can get connected with to assist you with purchasing your first home or purchasing a home. And some more details about those programs will be also discussed a little later in the presentation. Did we have anything else in the chat floor?
Yeah, the current market being, very volatile, and again, down payment and closing costs, and just the overall process being very complicated. I understand that. And mortgage rates as well, credit rejection, things like that.
I think those answers just reaffirms why our program might be perfect for you. Because we actually have organizations that we can refer you to or work with to help you. Like we have people, a community around supporting our applicants through the process. On the line, as mentioned earlier, we have a lender, probably 2 lenders on the line, or 3. We have about 3
I think
lenders.
3. I think we got 3.
Yes, so we have 3 lenders on the line. Cynthia, Viva, and Tanya is on the line. And then usually Jen Cox is on the line. She's unable to make it tonight due to a conflict. However, she's a realtor who happily works with any homeowner who may come to our program who doesn't have one or is looking for a realtor. And she's also just a really helpful resource. And as mentioned, like the Commonwealth Catholic Charities information, they help with credit. And then the housing resource line with some other things. And if there's anything else, if they're communicated, we can try to figure out how to support that connection for our applicants. All right, let's move forward. Thank you guys. Thanks for being honest and open about your fears and excitements. All right, so now we're gonna go into a little bit about Maggie Lena Walker. We gotta know who that is. We can't be in a Maggie Walker Community Land Trust info session and not know who Maggie Lena Walker is. So Maggie Lena Walker is the first Black woman to establish a bank and the first to serve as president of a bank in the US. Not only was Maggie Lena Walker an amazing businesswoman, she lifted the community with her. She empowered Black families and created opportunities for them to have stability and economic mobility. She was innovative and a visionary community leader. Ms. Walker not only had an impact, she also created opportunities for her community. She made intergenerational investments in addition to her investments into the community. She also made sure that those who she held close were also having those same opportunities. She paved the way for not only Black business owners and community leaders, but for Black women who at the time were not deemed worthy of having a seat at the table. So if I do say so myself, this lady right here is a powerful lady. Like, she walks in her truth, she walks in her power. And that is something that I continue to aspire to do. And it's always a work in progress. All righty. So you probably already know about the Maggie Walker Community Land Trust through our work with permanently affordable homeownership, which we'll be talking about tonight. But we also operate a Richmond land bank, which puts vacant property into strategic community use. The Citizens Advisory Panel makes decisions about the land in the land bank, and you can participate in those meetings and find out more about those by visiting the Richmond Land Bank website. And Flora's going to drop that in the chat in just a moment.
Yeah, and we do have a meeting of that coming up soon. So if you want to be notified about that, make sure you subscribe to our email list.
Thank you, Flora. All right. So now we're going to get into CLTs. Like, what do you know about a CLT? Rhetorical question. All right. So CLT, I'm sorry. Give me one moment, okay? I'm so sorry. All right. So all right. So okay. So community land trust is a new way to help families afford homeownership now and in the future. So CLT reduces the cost of homeownership, and it keeps the home affordable for future buyers. All right. All right, so this is actually a map of CLT, of community land trusts across the country. And there are over 350 CLTs just in the US. So the first CLT was actually in Albany, Georgia, and it evolved out of the civil rights movement. So at that time, Black citizens who were sharecroppers were getting kicked out of their homes, if their white landlords found out that they had registered to vote. So Black activists actually brought a large farm, and it was the largest sum of land that Black people ever owned in that time. And the intention was to farm that land together while everyone owned their own home on that shared land. Now, we're going to go into a little bit about So now we're going to go into a little bit about the resale of the home. So when you buy a home on the conventional market, you're purchasing the house and implicitly the land beneath it. Now, with a CLT home, you are purchasing the house, but the land remains in the trust, kind of like what I had mentioned in that previous slide. So you lease the land and you use it in the same way as anyone else would. And when it's time to sell your home, you only sell the house and the land is never sold. So the next buyer will also need to meet those income requirements that you had to meet and buys the home from you at an affordable price. They agree to the same sort of resale structure when they sell, and that's how the home is sold from buyer to buyer as long as it exists. It's also how the home is one of the reasons why the homes are able to maintain being affordable. So now we're going to talk about some of the benefits of CLT homeownership. All right. So CLTs benefit the homeowner in several ways. There are some of the most affordable homes that you'll find in the Richmond area. And by affordable, we mean they're not fixer-uppers. You don't have to put a ton of money, to do any rehab or anything on that, because all of our homes have been recently rehabbed or newly constructed. The CLT also allows the homeowner to build wealth over time. And though their monthly mortgage and through their monthly mortgage payment and the way that these homes increase in value with wages instead of like on the market, like how it would typically do. So support and assistance for the homeowners are also provided, along with the other benefits of homeownership, which includes pride, stability, and a quality home. So the CLT also benefits the community in many ways by improving the availability of quality and affordable homes. Most of our homes have been built, like I mentioned before, built on formerly vacant lots, or our older homes have been rehabbed. But the main advantage for the community is that no matter how expensive a neighborhood gets, there will always be homes that are affordable to people making low to moderate incomes, and will help keep our neighborhoods diverse and vibrant. In addition to things like not being beat out of the market, because that's just not the way that our program operates. Where in the market, it's basically ran by who has the most buying power. And our program really seeks to, incorporate or embody equity in the way that, we help families access homeownership. So now we're going to go into a little bit about what who may want to apply for a CLT home, or what are some of the things that you need to consider, that needs to be considered. So one is that you do need to meet our income qualifications or be income qualified in order to access purchasing one of our homes. The next is you do have to agree to the terms of the ground lease. 3, you do have to qualify with a lender who will lend for a CLT home. So it's not just like Maggie Walker Community Land Trust CLT home, but a CLT home, period. You would want a lender who would be able to do that. And then lastly, at the time of closing, you cannot own a home. So even if there's a case that you do own a home and for whatever reason that may not be affordable or whatever the case may be, you would need to sell your home prior to closing before moving forward with a purchase of a CLT home. So like I mentioned before, there are income limits. And on the screen, these are those. It's based on the number of people who will be living in your new home when you purchase it. And there was actually a recent increase, a large increase, a great increase in the income limits. So now, if at one point someone may not have been eligible, they probably are now. There are 2 income limits. That's the 80% area median income limit and the 115 area median income limit. And this is based on funding, not so much on us, but based on funding, and varies from house to house. So you cannot make more than that 115% area median income to be eligible to purchase a home. But of course, there are some homes that are 80% and some that are 115. So your eligibility for the specific home may vary based on the income limits on that home because of funding sources. So you will see that on the screen, you see AMI. And as I mentioned, that means area median income. And these numbers are determined by HUD each year. So for example, if you have two people in the household and they have an 80% AMI income limit, you cannot make any more than, $64,450. I'm sorry, y'all. They just changed, so I'm trying to make sure everything is aligning and I'm not giving you old numbers. But these are the updated numbers, but you cannot make more than $64,450 in order to qualify for that home that's being sold for the 80% area median income threshold. So this is actually a simple map of where the MWCLT home, where we currently have homes. And as you can see, we have a large amount of our homes in the Randolph area, but we do have homes in Henrico, Richmond, and Chesterfield. And Jen usually gives like a little breakdown of like some of the logistics, but we usually have homes ranging from 2 to 4 bedroom homes. And they range from 1 to 2.5, maybe 3 bathrooms, depending on the home size. Some of them are nice and cozy. Some of them have more of an open layout. And of course, we have some that are newly built and renovated, some that are renovated. And I know that we also have some homes that are in development right now. That will be in the Lord Flora. I'm having a brain fart. What? Ettrick Landing.
Yes, near Virginia State University.
Thank you, Flora. So we do have, I believe is it 10 homes?
Yeah, 10.
Yes, 10 homes that are coming up in Ettrick Landing that we're working on, and they are new construction. I believe it's like a subdivision, and some cute amenities will be included in that. But yeah, that's what's coming down in the pipeline. And then we also have a partnership happening with Girls for a Change and Happily Day Natural, where they're also working to develop 10 additional homes it'll be an agri-hood where in addition to the homes, there'll also be green space and then also like economic development opportunities within the community for the homeowners. And those homes would be targeted towards young Black women to help build out and support that community in that partnership. So next slide. All right, so how does our program work? So our program, most of our program is actually shaped by our ground lease. So we're gonna go over some of the basics of the ground lease. So number one, the ground lease is actually a 99-year lease that's intended to go beyond your life and probably that of your children. Well, hopefully your children have a long life, so I'm not going to wish that on you. It is fully inheritable, and your home can be passed down to anyone via your will or your heirs by state law. Now, MWCLT does offer wills for all of our home buyers during the closing process. And it's free of charge. So we do offer that as an amenity to our program. All right, so if your heirs choose to live in the home as their full-time residents, they will either continue on their current ground lease or may have the option to I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Or may have the option to restart that ground lease if other circumstances permit. Now, as far as like if someone has the option, if your heirs don't want to live in the home, as far as if they don't want to live in the home, they can sell the home just as you would if you were still alive and residing in that home. And they would receive the same proceeds that you would from the sale as if you would have sold the home before passing away. And then there's another piece. There's a ground lease fee. And that ground lease fee is $100. And it would be invoiced outside of, somebody drew on my screen. It'll be in.
I'll fix it. Hold on.
Thank you. I always wonder like how people can do that if they're not in control of your screen. It's actually
There's this thing that lets you annotate on the like screen sharing. If you like fiddle around with the buttons and click annotate, you can like draw on the screen. Don't do that though, please.
Please don't annotate.
Please refrain from annotating.
Don't annotate on my screen. Thank you. Thank you, Flora. Okay. So you can either pay that. So MWCLT does invoice that directly 4 times a year. And it is not a part of your escrow. You can either pay the lease in one chunk of $100 or in quarterly installments of $25 every 3 months. The board of directors also can raise that ground lease fee on years ending in 0 or 5. So the next time that they could do that would be 2025. And after that, it would be 2030. But they are limited on how much they can increase it to. And they are only allowed to increase it by the same rate as the consumer price index. And it can never exceed $250 a year. So at this moment, that is that around the ground lease fee. Now, this is an opportunity for me to put in, a little plug about the board of directors. So MWCLT is actually ran by a board of directors. And with that being said, it is composed of 1/3 homeowners, 1/3 public members, and 1/3 community members. So if you're considering MWCLT homeownership, I hope you'll consider joining the board or serving on one of the committees that advises the board in making their decision. So what's unique about CLT homeownership? So it must be your primary residence. So for example, let's say you meet someone and decided to move in with them, you would need to sell your MWCLT home so that it's an opportunity for another family to own their home. You can't turn it into an investment property and rent it out. There are exceptions to the rule. So, and those exceptions are made on a case-by-case basis. So some examples would be including any like military deployment or family situation that requires you to be out of your home for an extended period of time. That could include you have a relative that you have to caretake for and temporarily move in with them to take care for them, or there could be other examples, but just a rule of thumb or a thing to note would be to communicate that with the board because yes, The next thing is around renovations. So renovations must be approved. You can move into your house, you paint your house, change hardware, you can put light fixtures in, hang TVs on your walls, install shelving. You can put in a fence, get a shed on skids, all type of stuff. But the renovations that are generally the ones that require, the renovations that we're asking to go through the board with generally are anything that requires a permit from your local jurisdiction. So an example would be taking down walls, putting on a deck, and putting on a deck. And there are a few reasons for the why for this. So one is we want to make sure that whatever's done to the home is done well, and that it will also be safe for future homeowners. And then we want to make sure that any renovations are going to serve future homeowners. So an example would be, you really love bowling. So you have this idea, I want to put a bowling alley in my home. That is an example of something that wouldn't necessarily serve future homeowners. Everyone would not appreciate that bowling alley as much as you would. And it could also potentially create damage to like the structure of the home, which would also not make the home safe for future homeowners. So it's things like that that generally require permit. Anything that you need a permit to do, you would want to just kind of check in with the board to see if it's okay. And the board usually doesn't just deny stuff. Like the board isn't serving as a end all be all decision maker. I put my, what's the thing the judge uses? I put my thing down and it's a no. That's not like how it works.
It's a gavel.
Yes. So the board doesn't use their gavel and say, you can't do this. And that's my final decision. And that's not the purpose of our board. It's really just to maintain affordability and safety and quality of the home. So then the next thing is you will build equity. So that's a really positive thing. You will build equity from your down payment, your monthly mortgage payment, and your home's increase in value. So let me repeat that again. You will get your money or build equity from your down payment, your monthly mortgage payment, and your home's increase in value. And the way that our homes increase in value is based on wages instead of the market. So part of why it's hard for some people who have lower to medium income to compete on the market is because, as Flora mentioned earlier, it's volatile and the prices are not affordable for a lot of people. And the way that it works is that your money talks over, the need, or, what I'm saying, like people's desires to want to build equity and generational wealth, or just even having a home, for stability, like someone mentioned earlier, where in apartments, it can create this environment where people don't have stability. All right. So we'll go through an example of the equity piece in just a bit. Okay. So I did a lot of talking, so much so that I have to pause and gather my saliva. That's so disgusting, but I need to pause and kind of give myself a breath. And I wanted to create space for people to ask questions. But before that, I wanted to give a little plug on the homes that are on the screen. So this is a home in Highland Springs. It is a 3-bedroom home and 2 baths, and it was built by Project Homes. Flora, do you have any idea what the price point of this home was?
Yes, give me just 1 second to find the listing.
Thank you, Flora.
Yes, this was $155,000. This was the final sale price. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,200 square feet.
You said 155,000?
Yes, 155.
Okay.
And
give
here
me
is some more pictures and information about that can be found at the link in the chat. And you know what? I'm just going to put the link where you can find just all of our homes, like not all of our homes, but most of the homes that we sell. I make posts on this part of our website here to, you know, so check that out.
Oh, yeah. All righty. So let me get this back in slideshow mode because yeah. All right. All right. Can you guys see that? So yeah, this home was 155K. And you can find that on the link that Flora dropped in the chat. And does anyone have any questions?
I'm loving all of this. All of it.
Thank you, Jacob. No questions?
I do have a question. What is the average length of home ownership when people do buy a CLT, a property in a CLT?
So haven't we only been in existence for like 5 years, Flora?
Yeah, so we sold our first home in 2018, I believe, 2017 or 2018. And since then, I think our average, you know, we've had fairly high turnover because people just are, you know, looking for, not like high, but like, you know, we've had a good amount of people resell. Some, you know, those people who sold like 2 to 3 years after they bought originally. But when I said high turnover, I misspoke. We have not had high turnover. It's been, we've sold, I think, something like 50, 60 homes now. And most of those have stayed in their homes so far. We've only had, I think, 4 or 5 resales.
So when they sell a home that's in a CLT, are they able to move into a new home owned by a CLT?
They can. We actually have a current homeowner. So as Flora mentioned, it has not been high turnover. We've only had about 4 or 5 resales since over the course of 5 years. And we just now have one person who owns a CLT home whose family expanded. So their needs shifted. So now we're in process. We actually have a home that is a current home, a Lombardi home that they're reselling, in the process of reselling now. And they're gonna go into another home that we have available. So we're trying to do those simultaneously. And I think this is fairly new, so we're still navigating the waters of that. But I can say that it is possible, and we understand that there's that need. And then we've also like built in an additional prioritization point for people who currently own a CLT home or MWCLT home. So our prioritization point system only kicks in though when there's more than one interested buyer. So it's not something that automatically happens. It's only when we have, like, that's how we combat like more than one person being interested.
That was a really good point. Would you say that one more time? Because my brain was still on the previous thing. So if you have more, if you have a bidding war, what's it called? What kicks in?
So there's no bids or anything on CLT homes. So if multiple people submit offers, we have a policy that like basically weights those offers based on certain things that we prioritize, like, you know, are they a current CLT homeowner? You know, are they an alumni of Richmond Public Schools? Are they a, you know, things like this?
Parent.
Yeah, single parent.
Single parent. Have
Yeah.
they ever lived in public housing? Or, you know, like just those things. And then there's other factors that are also considered, like if they're in like in a situation that places them at risk of displacement. So that's also like a prioritization point. So there's a few things, and we're not constantly, but we're in the process of reassessing our prioritization point system to make sure that the maximum equity is actually being incorporated into that process. And it's having the intended impact, if that makes any sense.
It does. I understand it was interesting what you said about the high school, because I know there are things you can't factor in, but that was interesting because since you're a nonprofit, right? So the land trust is a nonprofit. Okay, so it makes sense that it's local that goes first because the local taxes are what paid for these properties for so long. So it keeps it within the community.
Sorry, thank you for calling FedEx. How can I help you today?
That wasn't me. So my next question for you, I'm sorry, I've got so many, I'm so excited, guys. When people, if a landlord wants to sell their property to the land trust, how does that process work?
That is a good question. We have rentals that are in the land trust right now. They are owned by other nonprofits. So
So much for that information.
Urban Hope.
Just to let you know too, ma'am, there's the option of filing for a claim.
Hello.
Can you mute?
I'm sorry.
Mute your?
I muted them.
Okay, great.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, so there are some nonprofits who have affordable rentals that are in the land trust, such as Urban Hope and Habitat for Humanity. And I think the way that works is basically, we have a land lease with the landlord, and that basically dictates, you must keep rents here. And if you ever decide to resell, you must, abide by this resale formula. So it's basically the same, but it's like a special thing we have for like specifically nonprofit landlords, but we haven't had any private landlords yet.
And then we also you're also able to donate land or properties to the land bank, to the land bank or program to be used. And I don't usually work with the land bank stuff. I'm more of like the CLT side. So Flora may be able to speak a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the land bank is really designed for repurposing vacant or underutilized properties. So if you have like a vacant or underutilized property and you want to see it converted into a use that benefits the community, not necessarily housing, but a use that benefits the community, a great way to do that is to donate it to the land bank. But if you have a home if you have land or a home that you want to go into the CLT program, you can also donate or sell that to the CLT. That is something we have done. For example, there was a family in Oakwood, which is in the East End, who had a single family home on a double wide lot in Oakwood, and they were selling their home, and they approached us and they were like, hey, we'd like to sell you half of our property so you can build an affordable house on this. And they sold us half of their land, and we are building a house on that. So you can, and then there's other people who have donated land or homes to the cause. It's very cool.
Do the homes have to be affixed to the land, or are they slab built? Are there ways to do modular construction or prefab?
This is great. You should come to Housing X. Hold on.
Right.
Send me an email.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Send me an email. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, Jacob, because I think you have a lot of great questions, and they're also more about working together, connecting, and more of the other side of what we do, and I think they're great questions, very great questions, and I can see your excitement, and we'd love to continue the conversation, and also create space for people who are interested in purchasing, to also. Sorry, Jacob. Did we have any other questions? Jacob has some really great questions, y'all.
Yes, Jacob did. I love Jacob. I love him. He's got so much energy, and I was learning from him asking all the questions. So thank you, Jacob.
My pleasure. I don't know how we'll work together, but I know we're going to. So thank you guys for entertaining my avalanche of questions.
No problem. Thanks for doing your due diligence and coming on here. I was actually pretty impressed to hear that you were doing research over a year. I was pretty impressed to hear that. So I look forward to it. Teresa, did you have a question, or did you just want to affirm?
I had a question.
Okay, come on, Rob. Can I call you Rob, or do I need to call you Robert?
Rob is perfect.
Okay, great.
As far as building up the communities and building these homes too, are you guys have to work with certain contractors, or do you guys put that out to bid?
We have partnerships. Hold on, I'm going to mute you so that there's no echo. We have partnerships with a few different Class 1 contractors. We work with Eagle Construction of Virginia a lot. We have an agreement with them. They have given us very favorable rates on a lot of construction. We also work with Project Homes, which is another nonprofit that does, they do single family housing as well as like renovation and rehabilitation. And we also have had some homes from Habitat for Humanity that have been built. But yeah, I don't know the specifics of all of the construction process because that's not really my domain. But yeah, if you want to talk to, just if y'all want to shoot me an email with all of your nitty gritty little questions, I can put you in touch with the other members of our team who do that stuff.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering about like the credit part of it. Is there somebody that we can work with as far as the credit, or is there like a minimum credit?
Yes, there is, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later. If you can hang tight with. Yes, we have our lenders on the line, and we're gonna get to that in our presentation, if that's okay.
And we also have that Commonwealth Catholic Charities resource for credit counseling if you do need credit counseling.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any more questions? And we'll also have opportunities later in the presentation to ask questions. If you guys want to hang tight to see what else you learn before you ask questions. All right. Okay. So how does CLT homeownership compare to renting? So as you already know, when you rent your home, you don't keep any of your rent payments. We just talked about that earlier. You don't keep any of those payments. And when you move to another home, basically you just lost everything that you put into renting. This is a chart of simply your monthly rent payments multiplied by 12 months, multiplied by the number of years you are in your home. So for the purposes of this example, we're going to look at paying $825 a month in rent. And after 5 years, you have spent around $49,500. And that's a minimum payment. You know, most of us know rents are getting ridiculous, but this is like a minimum payment after 5 years. And you have spent about $45,500 in rent alone, and you don't get any of this back. So with homeownership, you'll keep all of the equity you earn by paying the loan principal with your monthly mortgage payment. Now here is an amortization schedule. If you like numbers, you can Google amortization calculator and put in your interest rate, amount of your loan, and the number of years, and you can see how this plays out with different scenarios. But for the purposes of this example, we're going to look at a home purchased on January 1 of 2019. So this person purchased the home for $145,000 and put 3% down as a down payment. We choose this example because your monthly payment would be about the same as that $825 monthly rent payment. So notice that after the first year, the total you pay to the bank for your loan doesn't change. You pay the same amount every year. And what does change is what goes into the principal and what goes into interest. So as you pay down your principal, which is the amount you borrowed from the bank, things start to shift. So that more money starts to go into principal and less into interest. Can one of our lenders tell me what would happen if the person put one extra payment a year towards their principal?
Hi, this is Viva. Yes, consistently adding one additional principal payment per year saves money because that's typically cutting somewhere between 6 to 7 years off of the mortgage. So that's 6 to 7 years less of interest being paid.
Thank you for sharing that, Viva. And it would also shift the balance between what is going into interest and what is going into your principal a lot sooner. So for the purpose of this example, though we aren't assuming any extra payments, this person is just paying their mortgage on time and just the amount due. So after 5 years, they've accrued $16,225 of equity just from paying their mortgage on time. Now, if the buyer were to sell at this point, they would have that $16,255 of equity that they have paid into the house instead of paying rent, plus the increase in the value of the house based on the increase in the area median income over those 5 years. And then for those of you who don't like numbers, but you love visuals, this is a graphic representation of how your mortgage works. Now, this is this big blue box represents what you are paying to the bank each year for your loan. It's the same concept for your monthly mortgage payment, just a smaller number. So in year 2, most of your money is going into interest, which is about 1/4 going towards your principal, with about 1/4 going towards your principal. And so there's that visual representation. Now in year 15, you're paying the same amount over the course of that year. But now about half is going into your principal and the other half into interest. So by year 25, assuming you still have a mortgage, if you didn't pay any extra into your principal each year, most of your money is going towards your principal. And these concepts hold true for most mortgages, not just for CLT home, not just mortgages for CLT homes. So far, we've been talking about the money you've borrowed from the bank. Another part of your monthly mortgage payment is called escrow. So as a homeowner, you also have to pay for insurance and taxes. And usually these are due every 6 months. And they can be a pretty large sum. The bank wants to make sure that you pay both your taxes and your insurance, because if you don't, you could lose your house. So instead of making you pay it twice a year in a big lump sum, they divide it up. They divide up those payments into an amount you can pay monthly. And that becomes a part of your monthly mortgage payment and goes into an escrow account. So then the bank uses that escrow account to pay the insurance company and the city or county where you live. Now, this green box is your escrow. While what you are paying to the bank for your loan doesn't change, your insurance and taxes can fluctuate. So this is what can make your monthly payment go up or down from year to year. But it won't fluctuate as much as your rent would over the same period of time, generally speaking. So before I open it up for questions, this is actually an image of the first CLT home, MWCLT home, in Churchill. And when I say MWCLT, I mean Maggie Walker Community Land Trust. You want me to pause?
I'm finding it on the website. I got it.
Okay. Now
yes.
It is,
No, go ahead.
It is a 3-bedroom home with 2.5 baths. And it has a double veranda on the back, fairly nice home. And Flora is going to be our price point person for the night.
Yeah, this one, I can't remember the original sale price, but it resold in 2019 for $227,500, which, if you know what the home prices are like in Churchill right now, is a steal, especially for a house as nice and new as this.
I believe the home prices have doubled in that area.
They're around $400 or $500 now for similar houses.
Right. So that speaks to our program model and how, we're able to retain affordability even when the market goes berserk. And that's really reinforces some of the provisions of our program. That I know sometimes can make people a little apprehensive, but that's why we do what we do. But thank you, Flora. Does anyone have any questions in regards to the things that I just shared? Keeping in mind there will be space for more questions, and I want to get you guys out here by 7:30. So everyone understood this piece?
Hi, I did say, I think I did message personally. I said that I would have more in-depth questions to ask. I did mention too, I recently moved here to Richmond from New York City. I'm also a part Caribbean as well, and I'm also a trans activist here in the United States. So I'm really looking for, I've really been in Richmond, I'm loving the scene, but I'm really looking for a really nice area that speaks to the person that I am. As you know, New York City is very busy and crowded, and trust me, I was paying $4,000 a month in a box in Manhattan. So you can imagine, I really need to own my own home. So I have more questions, but I think I would like to ask them privately. And that's why I said, I think you sent your email, and I think Flora also sent her email as well. So I do have more in-depth questions I do want to ask. So.
Yeah, we'll have contact information as well at the end of this presentation if you would like, but I will put our emails in the chat one more time for your benefit and everyone else. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much again.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
Yes, as I said, I just packed up, left New York, here in Richmond. Still trying to navigate this state, still trying to learn a lot. I haven't met any community members or anything as yet. I've just been in this little shell because I'm a little scared, I guess. But I am open to exploring, and I really want to see more that Richmond has to offer. And I definitely need to own my own home.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing. And we will be
Thank you for
excited to talk to you.
sharing. Thank you for sharing. And just for your info, I actually am a native of Jamaica. I was actually born there. I've just been here since I was 2.5. But get me around the right folks and you might just hear some stuff come out. But I wanted to kind of say yay, yay, yay. Big up, to that island heritage. I see your hand, Jacob.
I'm trying to be respectful, but I wanted to ask that question. So this home that you had here sold for $2,275. What was the original price? Do you recall?
I don't remember what the original price was. It sold first in 2017 and then resold in 2019. And we used to have a different resale formula, which resulted in this new price, $2,275, which was a little bit higher than we wanted. But I don't remember. I think maybe the original was $190 or $195.
So that was like a $30,000 equity spread for the homeowner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So they were able to take that $30,000 and put it towards the purchase of a new home, and therefore,
yes, continue
to end the cycle of housing affordability.
Yeah, and that first homeowner actually still serves on our board. Her name is Chanel Dixon. She's great.
I'm going to go over.
Yeah, he told you come on any day.
All right. So as far as any more questions, did we have any more questions? All righty, next slide, Clyde. All right. So because MWCLT operates as a land bank, the land is tax exempt. There's also state legislation that says that CLT homeowners cannot be taxed on the full market value of the home. They can only be taxed on what they can sell the home for, according to the ground lease. And this is another affordability feature, especially in the high value real estate market. So here, you are responsible for the upkeep of your home and any necessary maintenance, which would include fixing broken appliances, a leaky roof, broken window, and etc. You do own the home. So that is a piece of owning the home. And that would also include maintaining the property, doing the necessary things to maintain your property. And more about that would be in the terms of the ground lease. All righty. Did you have a question, Linwood?
I did. I typed it in. I was asking if there's any type of application fee when you apply.
No.
And also, what type of like restrictions do y'all have for applicants? I understand that it's a 501c3, but like what kind of like things are in your bylaws that would permit a person from applying and qualifying?
I did go over that at the very beginning, that you would need to meet income qualifications. You would you cannot own a home at the time of closing for one of our homes. In addition to following through with the guidelines of our ground lease. And there was one other thing. You got to get approved by one of the lenders who will lend for a CLT home.
Yeah, excuse me. Maybe you misunderstood what I was saying. I was asking, like, is there any restrictions on persons as being like any type of background things like?
No, we don't get into that. That's none of our business. That sounds so bad, but seriously, we don't get into your background.
Cool.
Yeah, that's not, yeah. Do you have any more questions? All righty. So next slide. All righty. So when you sell your home, you are entitled to get back the cash equity or your down payment in your home. You're also entitled to get back your earned equity, in addition to your home's increase in value. Now, this is another home. This was a rehab, I believe, that was sold in the Randolph neighborhood. The home appraised for $215,000 and was sold for $145,000. So the home buyer borrowed less. Flora, are you able to drop a link to this home in the chat so people can see, like, if there are interior pictures of that home?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
Okay, thank you. And so the home buyer borrowed less and had lower monthly payments and a lower down payment than they would have had they purchased this home on the market. Now, when you go to sell your home, you start with your original sales price of $145,000. And we calculate the increase in the AMI while you have owned your home. The years this home was purchased, the AMI was $83,000. When they go to sell their home, we estimate that the new AMI would be around $90,200. $90,200. I said that all backwards. And the AMI increase on average of around 2% a year in the Richmond area. So in this scenario, over the 5 years, the person has lived in their home. The AMI has increased by $7,000, which is about 8.41%. So we multiply your original sales price by that 8.41%, which equals that $12,200. The equity will be the $12,200 that your home has increased in value, plus any down payments you put into your home, plus any principal that you've paid through your mortgage payments. And though historically this has not been the case, if AMI does decrease while you live in your home, you'll be able to sell your home for what you at least purchased it for. So you'll never take a loss on the cost of the home. All right.
Tiffany, can you, for my benefit, go back a slide and show me that picture again so I can see
if the
home is the one that I'm looking at?
No, I gotta click.
Because we got a lot of these little brick guys and they look the same, unfortunately.
This was in the Randolph neighborhood.
Yes, I can't find the exact one, but there's a similar one that I will put in the chat.
Okay. All right, let me do my click master skills. All right. So as a reminder, this is an example of the amortization schedule that we went through earlier. The homeowner has accrued $16,225 just by paying their monthly mortgage payment. In this example, after 5 years, they have $16,225 of earned equity, plus that $12,200 from the increase in the value of their home. That gives us a total of $28,425 of equity. Now, over that same 5-year period, they would have spent $49,500 in rent instead of spending almost $50,000 in rent. Sounds like a salary in 5 years, a decent salary. Instead, they've accrued $28,425, which is a lower end salary, but it's still a large sum of money that you would have gained rather than losing almost $50,000. You would have gained about $30,000. And this is the visual representation for our visual learners. Now, the CLT model makes it possible to keep this home affordable for future families who may be in the same economic situation you're in right now, or at least a similar one. And again, we take the original sales price of that $145,000 and add on that $12,200 from the increase in value of the home, and the home will resell for about $157,200, plus any additional fees that may be associated with that. So there's that visual representation. All right, before we ask questions, this is a home in Chesterfield. And it was rehabbed and sold for around $133,000. Flora, can you thank you. So do we have any questions?
So now that I attended the seminar, I'm able to apply for the house?
So once you complete this info session, this will be the first step towards completing your application.
And to answer, Daryl asked in the chat where that house that was used as an example, I think, was located, and that house was in the Randolph neighborhood, which is where we have a large volume of occupied homes currently. And those can be resold at any time. So if you want to live there, there is definitely an opportunity to, once some of our homeowners decide to resell. And we also may have a few coming, a few new ones coming in the future, possibly.
And one of our current homeowners who is trying to resell their home, I believe that's a Randolph home on Lombardy Street, South Lombardy Street, I believe. So that's an example of one of the homes that are up for resale in the Randolph area. Flora, did you want to share details about that home? Okay. Any more questions? And then I can move on. All right. So
I have a quick question. Sorry. Oh. I
Okay.
was trying to. Can these homeowners are these owner occupied only, or can they ever rent out the house?
Earlier, we mentioned that these homes are not intended to be used for rental properties or like Airbnb properties. However, if there's like a circumstance where you'll be out of the home for a period of time, with board approval, then there may be an exception.
Yeah, and that's not to say that we don't have any rentals in the CLT. It's just that we do have rentals. It's just that they were purpose built and negotiated with us by nonprofit landlords. So these aren't homes that people can buy and then use as an investment property.
Right. Alrighty. Okay. So how to apply for our program? So on the screen are a list of lenders who will lend for a CLT home, not just a Maggie Walker Community Land Trust home, but a CLT model home. So that's Virginia Credit Union, Fulton, Southern Trust, Town Bank, and CNF Mortgage. So here, right now, we're going to go through some of the application process. One part of the first part is, or one of the parts is participating in a homebuyer info session. Congratulations, you have all participated in a homebuyer information session. So you can put a checklist or a check on that item on your list. The next would be to submit your application with the following documents. So it would be 3 months of your most recent pay stubs or benefit statements, 2 of your most recent federal tax returns or matching W-2 and matching W-2s or 1099s. 6 months of your bank statements. And then the next step would be to apply for a loan pre-approval or pre-qualification. We do advise that you kind of wait till the latter part of your application for that pre-approval, just so that it won't expire and you're not having your credit pulled and then not eligible for our program or something just happens. So the next piece is to complete a Virginia housing or homebuyer education course. You can do that with Virginia Housing, and then also Housing Opportunities Made Equally also has one where you can go through their program as well. And then you enter the applicant pool. And after you go on a contract, so once you enter the applicant pool, you'll be notified of all of the available homes that come up via email. I may follow up with a phone call just in case you didn't get it via email or overlooked it in your email. And usually we ask that you and your realtor submit a contract for that home. And then based on the amount of contracts, if it's only one person interested in that home, then so long as we do ask to confirm or get the most recent and up-to-date income and asset information. But then we move forward with the closing process. You get support with, getting set up with getting a will. You can get connected to a closing attorney, and all of that good, juicy stuff that will finalize your home ownership. And then if it's more than one interested applicant, then the prioritization point system does apply. And it would be based on some of those factors we mentioned earlier, like have you ever been a public housing resident? Are you at risk of displacement? Are you a single parent? Does this home meet your accommodation need, like your disability need? And other factors, and the prioritization can be found online, and Flora will drop that in the chat as well. And then based on whoever it is that is deemed as the person to be prioritized based on the system, then we would move forward with the same process that a person where there was only one person interested has to go through for the remainder of that process. And after you're under contract, you will meet with an attorney to discuss the lease and closing, and then also, like I said, your will and other and durable POA. Like we also offer that free of charge. Durable power of attorney. So yes. So if you're interested, your next step should be to go ahead and register for with Home for counseling services and access to down payment assistance, or the Virginia Housing or the Virginia Housing thing that was on the last screen for your homebuyer education course. And then also keep a personal file of your income documents to send to lenders and financial counselor. Get income qualified with MWCLT before applying for your loan pre-qualification or pre-approval with the lenders, just because we don't want you to do that. They pull your credit and then things don't work out with our program, but you got a ding on your credit. And the next is stay connected with MWCLT staff as you go through the pre-qualification process. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. I'm a resource. Elizabeth, who isn't on the call, is a resource. Flora is even a resource. Whoever you get to will get you to the right person to support any questions that you may have or needs. And the last tip is don't wait to apply. Don't wait to apply if you want to be fly in your new home, your new MWCLT home. And that is my little shenanigans for the moment. You can actually pick up an application. Give me one moment. So you can actually pick up an application today or find it here at the Maggie Walker CommunityLandTrust.org /application. Or you can do MWCLT.org. You don't have to like type out Maggie Walker CLT. You can just put MWCLT.org and / and it would work.
You actually can't. I'm sorry, that actually doesn't work. You
It
do have to
doesn't
type
work?
out. You do have to type out MaggieWalkerCLT.org.
See, when I type MWCLT.org, it just pulls up. But maybe
Yeah,
it doesn't work
if you type MWCLT.org and just that, it goes to the home page, but you can't do the / application. You got to do the full thing.
I'm so sad.
I can probably make it so that it'll do that though.
Oh, that would be so cool. Like Flora is like so dope. When it comes to our tech needs, any support, Flora got it in the bag. There's my slang again, but Flora has it on point for us. Thank you, Flora.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What's the process for me and my fiance doing it together as co-applicants? Is it just one application?
No,
it is one application, but all of you all would need to provide the necessary documents.
Okay,
all right,
wow,
wow, you just did this with me.
Certificate too, because I just did the seminar with them.
I'm sorry?
Do I have to do the home buyer certificates as well? Because I just did the seminar with them.
Actually, she had to attend this webinar also on her own because we just watched it together.
Was it the home buyer education course or was it just a seminar?
I think they mean this. I think they mean this meeting.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So
y'all are fine. Just make sure that you email us with your email and name so that we can have you as both attending.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for sharing your voice with us tonight. Okay, so if you want to get started, come get an application. Get your documents, your income documents, your home buyer education certificate, and your pre-qual letter. And then submit your application via, you can either scan it and email it to us, you can fax it to us, or you can drop it off to our office. And we're located by the Science Museum, or is it the Fine Arts Museum?
We're in the fan, kind of near the museum district. It's like 2 blocks away from VMFA and like 8-9 blocks away from the Science Museum. Closer
Right.
to the branch museum, technically, if you know where that is.
Fine
but
Arts.
It's fine. It's this address in the fan.
Yes, 203 North Robinson Street.
I got another question.
I'm sorry.
I got another question. Oh my God. How I get the home buyer education certificate?
The link is on the website. And Flora can also drop it in the chat. But you do have to attend one to get one. So Flora will drop that. And then also our website, I'm gonna just be frank, our website holds a wealth of knowledge. So if you have not taken the time to explore that, I strongly, and mean strongly, suggest that you explore the website, because you may find some of the answers to your questions on the website, and then we can clarify anything that doesn't make sense for you also. But if you prefer to call me, that's fine too. Prefer to email me, that's fine too. But our website does have a lot of the answers to questions that are commonly asked.
Thank you. Strongly noted.
Thank you. Flora, did you have something you want to add?
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to mention, again, the 2 organizations that do the home buyer education. One is Virginia Housing, and they do like free online, do it on your own time home buyer education course. And then there's Home of VA, Housing Opportunities Made Equal of Virginia. And they do like a longer in-person home buyer education course that also can qualify you for some down payment assistance.
I believe, Flora, they also do it online, because I actually
they also do it, yeah. They also do an online one, yeah. But the in-person one is the one where you can qualify for down payment assistance. And then the 2 websites are virginiahousing.com for Virginia Housing, and homeofva.org for Housing Opportunities Made Equal. And the credit counseling services, again, are Commonwealth Catholic Charities. And I can put the link to Commonwealth Catholic Charities credit counseling program in the chat for y'all.
Right. And it's on the screen as well, the email and contact information for them, as well as the housing resource line again. And here is contact information for me, Nikki, Elizabeth, and Flora. Again, I'm the Director of Home Buyer and Community Engagement.
So you can get in contact with them.
Yeah, but you don't have to take a screenshot. That's good.
Nikki is the Director of Homeowner and Stewardship Engagement. Elizabeth is our AmeriCorps Vista. However, she is the one who you submit your documentations to, and she is the one who works closely with actually reviewing the documents and processing your application. Flora explained who they were. They do a lot of the behind the scene logistics, events, tech. Like, they're just like the wears a lot of hats person who supports our work as well, and can also answer questions or direct you to who you may need to speak with. And also has a little bit more knowledge about, probably a lot more, but about the land bank stuff. And so does Elizabeth. I solely work with the Maggie Walker Community Land Trust. And then we have the Home Ownership Bridge Program stuff that I would like to share with you all. So would you all like to hold your questions until I share this, and then I will revisit them. So this program is designed to help participants get from renting to homeownership in about a year. The rent is $958, and about half, 500, goes to an escrow account for when it's time to purchase a home. During that time, they'd work with credit counselors with Commonwealth Catholic Charities. And the program is also intended to serve those making around 50% area median income. For this program, you would have to have a credit score around 600 and unable to qualify for a conventional loan. And your minimal household annual income should be roughly around 38,320. Your maximum household income the maximum household income would be below that 50% area median income. And you would be wanting to be, hopefully we'll have people who are actively looking to seek homeownership opportunities and wants to live in the city of Richmond, specifically the Churchill area. And again, just to reaffirm ability to be mortgage ready within 1 year. So yeah, and this program, we don't have any homes available just yet, but we're still trying to see how we can expand this program, and also would like to continue sharing more about it to kind of gauge interest in the expansion of this kind of program. And I am finished. Does anyone have any questions? Have any questions? All right. No one has any questions? So I know that we are 12 minutes over. So if you guys don't have any more questions, then I will let you, well, Flora's gonna do the poll and then you can reclaim your time.
Oh yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I did have a question. You mentioned at the beginning of the session that there were lenders on the line, and were they going to talk to us about what some of the things we can do to, get ready or answer any questions, or that's something different?
You can actually the lenders, if there are any lenders still on the call, can you drop your contact information in the chat so that you can potentially set up a one-on-one with any interested folks. And then also on our website, we have the contact information and point person for the other lenders, just in case you're interested in exploring all of the 5 before making a decision. Flora, can you drop that in the chat, please?
It is dropped.
Thank you for being on it.
And really quickly, just to explain what this quiz you see is just to make sure we understand how well we delivered this information. So it's not graded, it's not part of your application. Do not sweat the answers at all. It is not important, but it's all it is just a metric of like our success as educators. Yes. So feel free to, if you can't think of an answer, just pick a random one and skip to the next one. And then make sure you answer all 4 and hit submit at the bottom.
All righty. So did everyone finish the quiz?
Still waiting on a couple people.
Don't feel bad if you don't know all the answers. Take your best educated guess. And then it just helps us, like Flora said, gauge how well we did in communicating the information. And this could be an opportunity to kind of like enhance the delivery of the information. Let me know when everyone's finished for.
Yeah, I think we got everybody. And no sweat if you didn't finish the poll. It is again not graded, not part of your application.
Can you share that screen, the results? Thank you.
Yeah.
So a little over half of you guys are, yes, we're gonna apply right away. About 22%, 22% soon, but not right away. And then 11%, maybe I need more information. And then the other 11, not at the moment, but maybe in the future. Everyone got the second question correct. MWCLT homes are fully inheritable. They can be passed down to your heirs regardless of income, as long as they will use the property as their primary residence, and that is true. The third question, what equity will you get back when you sell your MWCLT home? We had roughly about 90% of everyone answer this correctly. It's all of the above. Your down payment, your loan principal you've paid off throughout the monthly mortgage period, and your home's increase in value. The fourth question, how do MWCLT homes increase in value? We have 78%, roughly about 80, who says based on the increase in Richmond area median income. And then about 22% of you all who shared based on the market rate appraisal. The correct answer is area median income based on that increase. All right. Thank you all. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And Linwood, if your fiance would shoot an email letting us know that she was accompanying you on the call so that you both can be counted as attending the info session.
On the same email that I got for when I got the link for the Zoom meeting.
Flora, can you drop Elizabeth's email in the chat, please? Because Elizabeth is,
Yeah, you're going to email Elizabeth, who is our applications person, and that's elizabeth@mwclt.org.
Thank you, Flora. All righty. I think that's all. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining us. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Flora.